What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a lovely day today and I hope it gets even better from watching this video. Okay, let's be real for a second. Most rebrands and resets feel good and last for about a week and then real life creeps back in and this is not that. Okay, I've created a full strategic step-by-step guide that actually helps you to reflect deeply, figure out what you really want and actually create a rebrand that sticks. Not just for the aesthetics, but for your actual future. I'm walking you through the exact system I use inside Milanote. I created a full free template that you can download so you can actually use it and follow along. And then we're going to go through a lot of really helpful tips to actually have that longevity and make this reset and rebrand actually stick for once. So if you're serious about making the rest of 2025 your turning point, then this is the reset for you. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Nika. Welcome. I make videos all about self-improvement, but I like to make them very strategic. Like, here's the tips, the tricks, the to-do list, the exercises, so you can actually create a change that you're gonna notice and that's gonna last. So if that works for you, I would love for you to stick around and subscribe. You can also check out my Instagram if you want to see more of my personal life. And without further ado, let's get into this rebrand. So this is the mid-year rebrand plan. I made it on Milanote. I'll walk you through everything, explain all the exercises, all the tools, show you how to fill it out so you can really see how it works and how it looks. I feel like Milanote is the best tool to organize your creative projects. I've used it for vision boards, for like creative work project, for the redesign plan of this apartment, and then especially for projects like this where I feel like there's so much information like floating in my brain in a very like messy, organized way, and I love putting it all in one place. I'm a very visual person and I love like a good brainstorm session. It really gets me going, and I feel like Milanote has all the right tools to help me put whatever is in here into a system that's super like organized, clear, but very, very visual. So clearly I love Milanote. I've used it for years and they're actually sponsoring this video, which is really cool. And you can actually sign up to Milanote completely for free. So I'll have a link to that down below so you can go ahead and sign up and use this template. So this is again how the mid-year rebrand template looks like. I'm gonna quickly walk you through everything just so you know the basics, and then we're gonna go through each step and each exercise. So this is the main board. We've got a bunch of reflecting exercises here to figure out exactly where you are and what you want moving forward. Then up here, we've got another board that's called the confidence method. So this is a really, really cool exercise to really make you feel amazing about yourself and feel like you really, really know your strengths. And then we've got the 6-month vision board, the rebrand, set some SMART goals, figure out the plan for your new identity. And then the last board is the plan, which is where you're gonna put all of this together and have a very clear, cohesive plan for the next 6 months. And the best part is that you can completely customize all of this. You can move things around very easily. You can change the photos. You can draw whatever you want. You can add lines and everything is like very intuitive. It's just like a simple drag and drop. You can add notes, you can add links, to-dos, additional boards, anything you can think of, and you can change the colors and really make it your own. Okay, so let's get started with the exercises. So the first one is the ideal end state exercise by Kevin Dahlstrom. This is basically an exercise where you write down absolutely everything you want for your life. So this can be things like your dream house, how many kids you want, what type of household you want to have, what type of car. Like, it can be material things. It can be about how you want to work. So I want to work from home. I want to employ this amount of people. Really, really go into detail. Think about like what your ideal day in the life looks like. You should get very specific and write a really, really long list. Then we're gonna further define your vision. So you're gonna go through a couple of questions. So the first one is, what does your ideal Tuesday look like? So this is for most of us obviously gonna be a work day. You should really dream big. This is your ideal life that we're talking about. The next one is, what does your ideal Sunday look like? And then, what is your favorite self like? You guys know I'm a big fan of like the favorite self concept. So instead of saying your highest self, your best self, we're using your favorite self because that feels a lot more attainable and you usually know what your favorite self looks like. And it's all about how you're feeling, not so much of how your life looks like. So really helps you to be very, very authentic. And then the last step of this exercise is going to be where you're going to kind of do a little bit of an audit of what you've been doing. So looking at this vision that you wrote down, your ideal Tuesday, Sunday, your favorite self, all of that combined, you're going to highlight the inconsistencies between what you say you want and your actions. So where is the disconnect between what your dream version of you is doing, how this dream version of you is living her life, and then what you're actually doing right now? And I can almost guarantee that there's going to be a lot of inconsistencies and a lot of ways where you're like, why am I not doing any of this? Like, why am I doing the opposite if this is what I actually want? And that is very, very, very helpful. So just highlight as many as you can think of. And it's kind of like a really, really good wake-up call of like, this is what I want and this is what I've been doing. And it's just not matching up. What do I need to do to change that? The next step of our life audit is going to be the wheel of life. This is another exercise that you guys know I love and I mention all the time because it makes everything so clear. It makes you see your life, what is working, what is not working in the most clear and organized way, which just tickles my brain in all the right ways. As you can see here, you've got a lot of different categories of your life. So there's money and finance, career and work, health and fitness, and so on. And then you've got numbers from 1 to 10. So you're going to go category by category. So let's say money and finance, and you're going to ask yourself, where do you feel like you're at right now, like your satisfaction level with this category? So let's say when it comes to money and finance, I feel like I'm at a 7. And then you're gonna ask yourself where you want to be in the next 6 months. So until the end of 2025, where do you want to be? And then you're gonna do that for each category. Try to be as realistic as possible. 6 months is not the longest time, so keep that in mind. So in Milanote, you can use the drawing board. So you can mark we're at a 7. Say we want to be at a 9. So then once you've completed each category, then you're going to see which one has the biggest gap between where you are and where you wish to be. And those are the categories that you're going to want to focus on the most. So those are the categories where your goals, your habits are really going to matter. The next one is where we're really going to, in a very simple way, start to kind of map out what we want this next chapter of our lives to look like. This is a really cool 3-step method to have an amazing year. So the first step is to have 1 year defining thing. So in 2025, I started learning Japanese. In 2025, I left my toxic relationship. I really started working out and taking care of my health, like something that really defines this year. The next one is the Kevin's rule, which is to plan 6 mini adventures every year. So we're looking at the next 6 months. So it's going to be 3 mini adventures. This is a way to add more fun into your life, which we all want. And then the next one is winning habits. So add 1 new habit every 3 months. So again, this is going to be 2 habits for the next 6 months. And that's that. Very, very simple and very clear and easy. The next thing we're going to look at is your environment. This is so important when it comes to creating lasting change because your environment can really, really hold you back. So there's 3 questions here. The first one is, how do I create an environment that makes it as easy as possible for me to step into the next version of me? The next one is, which activities, people, and environments place this next version of you into the shadow? So think of like those things you say yes to that completely disregard this new version of you, where you're kind of going backwards. And then alternatively, which activities, people, and environments help this next version of you to shine? That's going to tell you a lot about which environments, people, circumstances to say yes to more often and which ones to limit. Last but not least, when it comes to kind of like an audit, is the confidence method. So the confidence method is 3 lists. The first one is going to be where you're going to list your past successes and contributions, big or small. So this can be, I won a spelling bee when I was 6. I graduated with honors. I helped my friend through a terrible breakup. Any good thing that you've done, basically. And if you need help with any of these, you can totally ask your friends and family, because a lot of the time we don't really remember or see things that are like amazing about us. We focus a lot more on the things that are not so great. So definitely ask your friends and family, especially when it comes to the next one, which is your positive qualities and traits. So you're gonna list everything. I'm a great writer. I am very empathetic. I'm very logical. I'm great at learning languages, like literally whatever. And then the last one is your potential. Let's say that I wrote that I'm a great writer, I'm very logical, and I'm a great problem solver. So maybe my potential would be to write a really amazing self-help book or to have a really helpful podcast. Look at your traits, talents, past successes, and write as many potentials for you as possible. Anything that you think you'd be pretty good at. This is just gonna give you a lot of confidence and more insight into who you are and what comes naturally to you, like what you're really good at without really having to think all that much. A lot of the time we value traits that we don't have and talents that we don't have a lot more than the ones that we do. And I really feel like true success comes from you honoring the traits and talents you already have and expanding on those instead of trying to be something that you're not. So again, this helps you to make this new rebrand, this new version of you as authentic as humanly possible, and just step into this next chapter of your life with the most confidence and like this feeling of self-worth. Then we're gonna create a vision board. We've got 4 categories: your environment, your lifestyle, your achievements, and your loved ones. And you're just gonna upload photos. I like to use Pinterest, just save them to my computer and then upload them, drag them in wherever you want. And you can add links, you can add notes, comments, whatever floats your boat. This is a way for you to make everything that you've been plotting very visual and like see everything very clearly and feel like this really is the life that I am gonna build. Let's go to the rebrand board. So this is where you're gonna first write your overall energy. So what is the vibe of the next 6 months? Write it here. Then we're gonna go category by category. So we've got self-development, career and finance, love and relationships, and home and family. So first you're gonna write the 6-month vision here. So again, the vibe of this category. And then you're gonna set 1 to 3 SMART goals. So how many goals you set is going to depend on the wheel of life that you created. So if the biggest gap was for finance and career and for love and relationships, then that's the category where you can set a few more goals. And if self-development was very low, then you can only set 1, for example. So be mindful not to set too many goals. And the goals that you set are going to be SMART goals. So this is where this document comes in. So you can open it and it gives you the information of what a SMART goal is. So when you set a goal, make sure you use this kind of like as your checklist. So again, you're gonna do this for each category, and on the bottom, you're gonna write your new identity. So let's say with self-development, your only goal is to become very active. So your new identity, let's say, is I am a person who never skips a workout. Alrighty, and then last but not least, we're gonna fill out the plan. So this is where you're gonna look at everything you've already written and you're gonna put it all in one place. It's just gonna be very helpful when you're mapping out these next 6 months to have all of this in one place. So let's say you write your 3 mini adventures, and one is, let's say, a concert, another one is camping, and you wanna go diving. So you can very easily map everything out with just like a drag and drop. And that is that. You're gonna have a very simple, clear, actionable plan out of everything that you've already done. And it's all based on the things you actually authentically want. That is why we spent so much time on the audit and on figuring out what is working, what is not working, and really reflecting. If you skip that part, then this is gonna be a lot less clear. So that is it for this mid-year rebrand plan. I'm gonna link this template down below so you can sign up to Milanote for free and start using it, filling it out. Take your time. You can pick and choose the exercises that you want to do if you feel like this is too much and overwhelming. I totally get it, but you now have a lot of systems that you can come back to whenever you need a reset or a rebrand. Alrighty, I wanted to give you a few extra tips to help with the longevity of this rebrand and to really help you stick to it. First things first, be aware of the dopamine trap. So this is where a lot of us dreamers go wrong, and why we start something and we never follow through. It's because you spend so much time dreaming about it, telling everyone about it, to where it kind of feels like you already achieved it. Like you get that excitement and that rush. And then when you start and it's not that easy, it's a bit difficult to form new habits and change your ways. You're like, wow, this is really not fun. That was more fun. Like dreaming about it, mapping it out, like that was super fun. Telling everyone about this new version of me. Just be aware of it, because true fulfillment should really come from you actually fulfilling this and showing yourself that you can do it, you can stick to your word. And that is my next point, which is to just start. You don't need confidence to start something. You build it by doing it. And that can be said for a lot of traits. A lot of people are like, well, I don't have XYZ. I don't know everything I need to know, so I need to learn everything before I start. You're gonna learn by doing it, okay? So just get started and watch your confidence build by you actually sticking to your word and really fulfilling the promises that you make to yourself. Don't wait around. Just start. Next step, amplify the wins. A lot of the time we focus a lot about our failures, what's going wrong, and I really want you to start to really amplify the things that are going right, the things that you're learning, who you're becoming, how you're feeling, like all those positive things. So you can even create like a board of wins, like a very visual board. You can put post-it notes on it, like on this day, I succeeded at this, even if it's a very, very small thing. That's just an amazing reminder when things get a little bit tough or when you stumble upon a challenge or a failure or anything like that. Last but not least, this is how you're going to deal with those failures. So the things that are not going right, you're going to constantly think of the quote, I never lose, I either win or I learn. I'm pretty sure that's a Nelson Mandela quote. It's one of my favorites. And it's all about looking at your failures and challenges as, what can I learn from this that I can add to my arsenal of knowledge that's going to help me with this next step? Okay, this failed, this didn't work. What about it didn't work? Like, how can I now move on in a different, smarter way because of it? How can I pivot because I now know what I didn't know before? Instead of beating yourself down and feeling like a failure, you don't know what you don't know. Like, that is normal, and you learn as you go along. And every single person that has, in your eyes, succeeded has failed many times and had to kind of reinvent the wheel or pivot many, many, many times. You just see the top of the iceberg. You don't see everything that it took to get there. And this is where developing resilience is really gonna come in handy for you. And I made a whole video about resilience if you wanna dive into that and really build that resilience that's going to help you achieve everything that you want to achieve. Alrighty guys, that is it for this video. I really hope you get to try out this template and all the exercises, or at least some of them, and I really hope it helps you to create the best rebrand and to really make the rest of 2025 your best year yet. If you like this video, I would love for you to stick around and subscribe. You can also check out my Instagram if you want to see more of my personal life. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm going to see you really, really soon.